I'm going to drop off some stuff at this dude's house. I grabbed three bikes, 3 free bike frames, like 10 or so wheels of varying sizes, and then a box, long milk crate, one of the longer ones that was filled with miscellaneous parts. But then when I got home, I saw it had some tools, a sandal, and some other stuff, and a few drawstring bags. So I messaged him and said, want me to bring it by in the morning? And he said, yes, please. I was gonna grab the stuff I left, because I left some tires and like 3 to 5 frames, but I'm too lazy. Might grab something if it's there, that's the other thing. But I just went to the post office. What I originally was gonna do was gonna drop off the package, then go to his house on the way back, because there's a post office like 5 blocks away from his house. But my backpack ended up being completely full. There's only a few inches in every direction, so I lucked out on that. But I didn't want to bring my IKEA bag just for his stuff, even though I could have. So I just went to this post office by my house that I usually end up filming when I go to it or from it, and I went home, and now I'm back out. I told him I'd be going back home, getting his stuff, and then going back out, just as an update. I didn't want to grab my bike trailer. I was gonna grab my cargo trailer because I had to dismantle and squish my other one on Sunday. I got 2 free bikes on Sunday. One with my mom that might sell for $2,500 or around there, and then later in the day I went and rode like 15 miles, something like that, to get another bike for myself to fix up eventually. It's a Trek 700 multi whatever, see, multi-track or whatever it's called. It needs some work, but I'm gonna turn it into a hybrid, leaning more towards a road bike. I've been wanting a road bike, and it's a mountain bike, a vintage mountain bike, and it's significantly bigger than my Diamondback. I could tell when I put it in the bike trailer, I had some trouble with that. I had to end up putting both wheels on the left side of my handlebars, which was kind of awkward since I was riding the Diamondback and it has the gear shifter and brakes on both, so that wasn't fun. So I was almost home. I was like 10 miles, give or take, away from home on the way back, and I ended up having to have my mom pick me up. I wasn't feeling it. I actually had ironically, don't know why they started honking. Ironically, my phone accidentally called my dad when I was taking it out of my pocket to see what time it was, and to see if my mom messaged me back from the last time I messaged her. And then right after he called me back and I said, no, I'm cool, I kid you not, like 5 minutes later, I ended up calling my mom because I was at the top of the hill, and then by the time I got to the middle of the hill, I wasn't even to the bottom, because how long the hill is. I ended up feeling sick. I kind of wanted to throw up. My stomach started hurting. My nose was bothering me. It got all runny. It got really cold. My head started hurting, and my throat got dry, which that's been happening on and off the last few weeks at nighttime. So I was like, whatever, I give up. So since I was like 10 to 15 minutes by car away from the house, I just gave up. Because it was like 8 something at that time, and I had originally left between 3:45, sometime between 3 and a little bit before 4 or 5. I started getting ready at like 3:15, but I ended up going in and out of the house a bunch of times because I locked myself in the backyard and I kept forgetting stuff. So there was that, and then the dude said he'd be home at 5:30, and I told him I was close, and then just so he knew. And then when I was getting the bike, then he got back to me at like 6, and then it was another like 25 minutes from my location to his house. Then I had a kind of hard time getting the wheels off the bike because they're rusted, so there's that. So since I had to wait an extra half an hour, and it took me another hour, it took longer. I may have gotten there a little sooner because I took a different route, but I ended up going too far, thinking the bike and walking path went all the way to a certain point, but it didn't. So I lost like 10 minutes because I went all the way down, and it was just being behind a bunch of houses near the water, awkwardly. And then I turned around. It was only awkward because there was a guy sitting in his backyard watching the sun set or getting ready for it to set. So there was that, but it didn't matter because I had the buffer knowing he wouldn't be home, and I wasn't too far from where I messaged him from. It just ended up being annoying because if he would have messaged me sooner with his address, I might have made it home. Potentially. Might not have. But it would have been a little warmer. I might have had more energy and all those factors. But since I was so close, as I said, I just gave up. Which I was glad, because while I was waiting for I started real squarely hopping onto the sidewalk. It wasn't one of those normal sidewalk openings like this one. It wasn't all big. It was one of those ones that's closer to this corner, like closer to this side. So, and I wasn't paying attention. I was checking to see if the lady in the car that was in the parking lot right next to it, if she was in the driver's seat or not. So I had to do some fancy maneuvering because there was a car. If there wouldn't have been a car, it wouldn't have mattered. But I had to like slightly tapped the pedal, crank backwards, and it didn't make anything come loose so far. It wasn't very. It was more so a correction, like a slightly backpedaled then went forward. So that was nice. I was more concerned about the car than anything else, obviously. Hurry up, buddy. That dude, the ringtone sound like that Nokia 3030, the big blue chunky one everyone always talks about. Might not have been, but it was very reminiscent of the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s ringtones. Unless he was playing a game. I don't want to deal with this. I got enough speed. If you guys want to go downtown, well, I am downtown, but downtown near the waterfront. If you ever want to go get some good Salvadorian food, right across the street, I'll flash you this good restaurant. This fool acting like he's at a south side. This fool, what an idiot. Guess that they don't have a camera at that light, but I got him on camera. Well, alright. So this spot, right here, Taqueria Mercy, the pupusaria. Delicious. If you're ever in Vallejo, California, it's all Salvadorian. But there's another place down here if you go right next to Eco Thrift. The first I go to, unless it closed, might have closed because I heard a few weeks ago the sushi place next door that closed. But there's a Salvadorian Mexican spot. It's a Salvadorian restaurant, but they have some Mexican food. So it's down here, turn right onto Redwood, and it's on the left. I think it's Del Sol, I could be wrong. Or it might just be something Sol, Taqueria Sol, Taqueria Del Sol, I forget. I haven't gone in a few years. Both are super good. Best spots I know of in town, but I think they're the only places I've gone, to be fair. I've had yuca fritas at the place I just passed. They're good, of course. All I've had at the spot down a few blocks away on Redwood is pupusas and maybe some Salvadorian horchata. Maybe not though. I got it somewhere. I want to say it's there, but maybe not. I eat a lot of Salvadorian food when I have money. Well, usually just pupusas, sometimes vegetarian. Easy thing to get, and they're not that expensive. They could be different now, but when I buy them, they usually be like $1 to $2 each. maybe 3. Shoot. My favorite's La Rojo, but I usually just get beans and cheese or bean. Since I'm never sure if there's lard, I usually don't get beans and cheese unless I can ask the person. But I've had to order in Spanish. The last time I tried to ask someone in Spanish if their beans had lard in them, neither of the people could tell. So they couldn't understand what I meant. Because I know 2 different ways to say. I don't know enough. I don't know how to have actual conversation in Spanish. I just know a lot of words. I understand more. I just make a lot of weird stuff and hope the person understands me. It doesn't always make sense, I'm sure. Most people compliment me and thank me for putting the effort instead of being dismissive or rude. Ironically, one day when we needed some help with groceries, we go to the food pantry. Sometimes we go Tuesday and Friday, my dad and I, or sometimes we just go one day or the other. But usually we go both because it was helpful, and it's only like, depending on traffic and how long it takes at the stoplights and the one stop signs and then the one stoplight, getting there it's like 5, maybe 10 minutes. Not inconvenient when it comes to driving, and there's no limit on how big you're, like, if you come in a big group, as long as everyone gets their own box, it doesn't matter. So we take advantage of that. But this lady, well, it looks like I'm gonna make the last clip at the end of the video, since it was 15 minutes and the other 2 were 5.5 and 6.5. I think I have enough, but I wanted to do an outro. So, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. You'll see me in the next one. I won't see you. Alright. Have a good day. Don't know what day this is going up, but it's Saturday, 29th. So maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. All depends on my computer and my laziness scale. But I might go pick up that bike today or tomorrow. So that might be cool. The lady got back to me when I was walking. There was a free rock, well, I don't know if it was free, but it's past a specialized rock hopper that has suspension forks, maybe rear suspension, couldn't tell. And then a BMX, I couldn't tell if they were free or not. But one was partially inside this storage unit. It was like the houses were along an alley, and it was like behind the house. And the other one was on the outside. Didn't say free or anything, so I couldn't tell if maybe there was a homeless person or 2 living in one of the storage units. The one I could see into that had the BMX in it was kind of dirty, so I wasn't sure. Dirty in the sense of there was a lot of concrete strewn about, so I don't know what was all of that. So yeah, I was gonna grab it, but wasn't sure since there wasn't a sign. I even looked to see if anyone posted it as I walked up the alley. Wasn't it cool? Might have got some monies for it, or might have kept it, who knows. Alright, I'm on the outro. Toodaloo. Camera's gonna die soon. Hold on one bar. Bye. I still have an hour and a half. Or an hour and 10 minutes, I should say. Give or take. Until I can go home. And I was just over here. Alright, bye.